Welcome to Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles, always bringing you information to the community and always praying that you have your pen and paper to take this information down. Today, I have a good friend of mine, known for a few years, and he does a whole lot of stuff. My friend here today is my friend Lenny. Lenny, welcome to the broadcast.
It is good to be here with you, Dr. Coles.
Man. So, Lenny, you involve a whole lot, but first we're going to hit the first area. There's something happening on the 26th, and you with Jarvis Church, and I tell you have a new leadership there, and y'all guys, the old leadership was doing a whole lot too now, John Strivey, but you have a new leadership there, and your role inside the church is to work with certain things in the church. Am I correct?
Yes, so I've come on board as the Director of Communication and Connection, and so they've given me the ability to go out and not only connect to people within the church, but to connect outside the church. And so whether that's in studies or events or just all kind of things, we want to make sure people feel that sense of community that is coming out of Jarvis. And so I'm really excited about this Sunday, the 26th. We're having a lawn party where we're going to have live music on the little lawn that we own out there that you've seen in front of the Free Boot Fridays. We're going to have games for kids. We're going to have a big inflatable slide. We have some food trucks coming out, but our youth program is also giving away free hot dogs. So you don't have to even buy anything. It's they'll have food for everybody out there. We also will have some not only ministries of our church, but nonprofits are going to also have some booths just to share about what's happening in Jarvis and in our community. So it's what, some people might say a ministry fair, but that just doesn't seem as exciting as a lawn party. And so we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a beautiful Sunday and just a time to get together, have some fun, eat some food, and learn a little bit about what's going on in the community.
And you said so. That's so true. When people say garage sales and a yard sale, I run to a lot of yard sales and the garage sales. I think you just put something out the garage. But and when you tell yard sale, it means you got so many. It's like you just open and grass and nature there. So you guys having this on the September 26th, and what is the time you guys having this?
Yeah. So again, from 4 to 6, it's a free flowing event. Again, you can just come and bring a lawn chair and sit and listen to music, meet people, have fun. If you've got kids, it's going to be phenomenal for kids. It's just going to be so many things for them to do. But anytime people get together, and especially in what we've been through, it's just, I see the Lord at work in that. I mean, building community, having fun, and then being aware of ways to be involved or things that are happening in our community that you can share with people to help them out. So we're excited about it. I mean, He has blessed that day. I see the weather forecast, and we're blessed. We've got 16 different booths that are going to be represented, from Scouts to Upward to 3rd Street, Hope of Glories, a lot of different ministries that we work with our church. And so we're excited just to have them all together in one spot.
I tell you, especially with this pandemic, I didn't realize. I mean, I was doing the event the other day, and I said the reason we didn't have this event because of the pandemic. I realized we're still in the pandemic, but you know what? I'm gonna say this, if we keep on feeding that thing, we're never gonna get out of it. I mean, the children got to go to school. I thank God the children in school, and they can't learn at home. They need to be in school. The teachers need to be in school, and I tell you, have them to come out. We need to come out. I mean, you can't. It's crazy. At one time, Lindy, I would say that I was so good. It was a sunny day, so I go in my backyard to stay out in my living room. But I'm so glad that Jarvis Church is doing this here at this yard sale, having these things for these children, because these children need to come out. They need to bounce. They need to have fun. They gotta get that energy out, Lenny.
I'll give you an example. We started an Upward basketball cheerleading program 12 years ago. And we started with 175 kids, and then over the last, say, 5 or 6 years, it'd be full with 450 kids. Last year was the first year that we couldn't have it. And obviously, there was a lot of unknowns, and people were just trying to figure out how to do life. Well, we're ready to get back to it, and we just opened up registration 3 weeks ago, and this is the 3rd week, and in the 3rd week, we have almost 200 kids signed up. Wow. So I think parents see that. I mean, everybody wants to be safe, but we have to do life. And God's called us to be out. He's called us, to be safe, but to go and be together, to have fun, to make a difference, to serve. And so, our new pastor, Pastor Don Mitchell,
he sort of put it to us, said, we got to stop living paralyzed. We got to be a group of people that go out and do the ministries of the church to share Christ today. And tomorrow's got enough to worry about, but what do we got to do today? And so, we're out there doing the best we can, and I'm excited for the fall, and I'm excited about the things that we're dreaming and we're planning, and to see what God does with that.
And I'm just going to add this on as well. I'm so glad he said that. But you will have to think that disease is something that didn't happen in 2019, 1960, 19. These things. This stuff was around. Certain things going on when Jesus was around. Do you think Jesus stopped doing ministry because of things was going on and sickness and illness?
Yeah, I mean, I had to say in the last bit of time, I'm somewhat of an extrovert, I guess you could say. I like being with people, and it was tough. I mean, the shelter in place, and then, we at Jarvis, one of the things that the pandemic did that we needed to do, we just never had the push to do it, was to do live stream. I mean, all of a sudden, this church with some age on it learned how to do how to broadcast it out over our apps and Facebook and so forth. And those have been good tools. I mean, to stay connected. But again, we've been blessed at our church. We had leadership to come in and say, hey, here's some things we probably need to do just to make sure we're safe. Let's spread out. Let's ask people to do certain things. Let's just pay attention, but let's not stop doing what God's called us to do. And you can see it. You can see that it's taken a toll on. I mean, not only just thinking about myself or my family, but the people that we did ministry with, people that were in church, that were in a great rhythm of study and life and serving, and all of a sudden it all just sort of stopped. And almost you wonder if watching church in your pajamas has become sort of the norm. And I just don't think that, I mean, again, it's a nice tool to have when you can't be in community, but church is more than just a service. It's about being the body, and the body needs to be together. And so, again, it's not being reckless, but it's just being smart and being together. I think that's the key through all this. That's what God's taught me.
And you're right on it, because Jesus said with 2 or 3 together, he's in the mix. He said not 2 or 3 on the internet or Zoom or Facebook or YouTube, I'll be there. I mean, that is a tool to use if somebody can't get there. They may be in a nursing home, or they may be out of state and they can't get there, and or something. And it's good to have, and maybe at nighttime or a bad storm. I mean, that is a spare tire, but I don't think every day we want to put a spare tire in our car. I don't want to use that day if I don't have to. And if I have to use them, I'm going to call AAA to put it on for me. But you was mentioning that you're going to have vendors, and let me ask this question. Is there any room for other vendors? People might be looking at this broadcast and say, I like to share some information on my ministry, and I'm a nonprofit. I mean, is there any room for that?
What I would share is, my hope is that this becomes an annual thing that we do. And so with it being the first time around, we sort of tried to grab what we have, and we've had it open for a while, and now we've sort of been preparing to put everything in its place. I have had a few people come to me, and I've shared with them, hey, give me your information, because at least I can share it with our church. And then as we prepare for the next one, we want to be ahead of the game. So again, it's been one of those things that you're sort of dreaming of how to do something that we haven't ever done before. And it's been really a neat process. I'll tell you sort of where it started for me. A couple years ago when we were doing Upward, we'd have 1,000 people come through our gym on a Saturday, and we'd do these halftime devotions. And my good friend Sid Bratcher was working with the Heart of ENC, and he was sharing about all these different nonprofits. And there was a lot of them that were right down the street from the church that I didn't know anything about. And so I reached out to him, and he gave me a list, and I started asking nonprofits to come and share at our halftime. And as they shared their ministry, their vision, and what was going on, it was really eye-opening to not only the people in attendance, but myself, to say, wow, here are people that are doing things that impact our community that I had no clue about. And so when we started dreaming about this lawn party, that was a piece that's folded in. And so I would say I would love to hear from different people, because this isn't just a one-time event. Not only will we have Upward again, but there'll be other times where we can partner, learn about people, and then share those things with not only our congregation, but the people that we are in contact with.
So, and if somebody want to join on, is it room for them to join on, or at this time?
At this time, it's probably a little bit tough,
So, okay.
but
Maybe for
they can
20.
always contact me. It's pretty easy. Lennie, Lennie at jarvis.church. Send me an email, and I'll do whatever I can.
Okay.
But as they may say, we're in the short rows now. It's just trying to get things ready. So,
the
but I can
weight's
tell you
already on
this.
it.
I can tell you, 2022, I'm gonna have my bucket's gonna be bigger for groups. So it's just one of those things we're just trying to figure out.
And for some people, we tell them the name of the church and they don't know the address. What is the address to Jarvis Church?
So Jarvis Memorial United Methodist Church is right downtown. There's several roads that go around it. Our official address is 510 South Washington Street. But we're sort of crammed right there between the police department, the BB&T, UBE, all those little spots. I mean, you can't miss it. We're right there in the heart of things. If you've ever been down to Free Boot Friday, they're on one side, and there we are right there on the lawn on the other side.
And you can't miss it because it's a yard sale. I mean, it's the yard event, and then the balloons and the bouncers for the children. And we really trying to get a lot of children and people to come out. And I think, with the hot dogs and bring them out there. And also, there are going to be other vending trucks out there that people, they want to buy their food. Because some people don't eat hot dogs. A lot of children, they eat hot dogs. But there are going to be other trucks out there that we can purchase some food?
We're going to have... it's called the Prevail Hawaiian truck. They do really. I actually sort of was an accident bumping into them. A friend of mine had a birthday party for his wife, and they had that food truck there, and it was amazing. And so we got talking, and so we've got them coming out. Kona Ice, because again, it's not going to be too hot to come out, but it's going to be just nice to have a little snow cone. And so we'll have those two there, and again with the hot dogs, we feel like that'll be able to make everybody happy. You'll be able to find your happy medium. So it'll be a good time for a good meal.
Yeah, man, I tell you, this is exciting, man. To get the people to come out, the free hot dogs. Those who don't want no hot dogs, they can go and order some there. But just to have the resources out there, and you guys have capacity with people there, and that's something that's really needed, Leon. People need to have resource and have understanding. Hosea 4:6, and my people are destroyed because of a lack of that knowledge. And you don't know if you don't get the knowledge and understand and that knowledge comes from our resource of what we can help with is so important. So I'm really glad that Jarvis and have a good leader like you to put this together. And you wear many hats, man. So I'm not gonna let you loose the other hats. I mean, there's other things you do, Lennie. So please let's share one of the things, because how I met you at a banquet it was some time ago.
Well, just a quick history. That's about 12 or 13 years ago. Our family moved from the Fuquay-Varina area to Greenville. Jarvis hired me as the full-time youth pastor, youth director, and I was here for about 5 years. Was blessed in ministry. We had a strong youth program. We started the Upward basketball program. Made a lot of different contacts, and the Lord really worked through all the different people that He surrounded me with. I mean, I was just blessed to have great students, great adult leaders, great leadership in the church. We were called back to the Raleigh area for some family issues and some other opportunities. And we were there for about 2 years or so. And my wife said, I miss home. And Greenville had become home. And I got to tell you, I'm a state graduate. So for a man from the ECU area to say that, the Lord had to do some work. But I did miss it. And so an opportunity came up at the refuge down there in Ayden, the refuge camp by Sammy Hudson. And so I took a full-time job there as the program director. I was there for about 5 years. And Lord, I did, again, just was blessed to be there. I mean, to be able to see different groups come in, to work with school programs, just to do some amazing things, and just to watch God move in that place. It's just that's an amazing story in itself. And then somewhere in the middle of that time, of those 5 years, Jarvis was looking for a youth director. I came on part-time. But as I sort of was walking through this journey towards, I guess you might say, the beginning, we're around January, December of the pandemic, the Lord was stirring inside of me. And at the refuge, I was blessed to get to know a lot of people, but not as deep because, come and go. And I felt the Lord was saying, I want you to deal with a group of people deeper, a smaller community. And so we were praying through that. An opportunity came up at Jarvis for me to take this position I'm in now. And then I'm starting a process to become a licensed pastor at Jarvis. And so I just feel like that's where the Lord's calling. My heart still is at the refuge, and I love those guys down there and what they do and visit. And Sammy's a great brother. But I feel like God has really put me in the place at Jarvis to be a part of what He's doing. And saying that there's life in an old church. There's life in sharing the gospel. There's life in reaching out and serving our community. And so I just want to be a part of that in any way that God can use me or anything that I can offer. I'm excited about. But it's an exciting time. Even in this time where you're trying to get people off the internet to come back, even in this time where you're trying to sort of get things going, or maybe you got to put a mask on, or whatever it is we got to do. It's exciting to be able to do the Lord's work in the place that I'm at, and so I feel called, and I'm just ready to go. I'm just whatever we got in front of us, let's go.
It's amazing that we can think we have a plan, but God had the ultimate plan in our life. And we really don't know what direction. I love what you're saying, praying and seeking God. And, for me to hear so many stories, also my story falls in there where we really seek God for the answers. But I also believe, and I'm quite sure you may concur with me on this, everything that God places is like another nugget, what I'm saying? And that nugget connect. I don't know what this nugget here for, but it's connecting with something while I'm here. And it all comes in place, and I share this with you. I know nothing about sports. I'm not ashamed to say that, and I should be ashamed to say I'm in the sport towel, But I didn't know who Joe Gibbs was, and that was some years ago when he came down.
Yeah, that was a great event.
Yes, and then I met a gentleman a few weeks ago, and then a couple of weeks ago I met him face to face, and then we did a Zoom call last week, and he was Jason Brown. Mm-hmm. Jason Brown,
the farmer.
Yes. And I tell you that, not to get off topic real quick, and I'll jump right back on, but to hear his story, to hear Sammy Hudson's story, but to hear these stories and what God bring us and, gifts that we have. I say this. We came down already with the gift that God gave us. He said to Jeremiah, he didn't say when, he said before. Mm-hmm. You was in your mother when you was a prophet. So I look at, we have gifts, and sometimes we confuse. We trying to figure out, what is it, that God or is this God? But you said fast and pray and asking God and seek it, and all these things come together. I mean, for somebody who don't know about sports, I met up with Joe Gibbs, and he helped me not just that time, not too long ago. He helped again in Belhaven and the NASCAR races that paid for all those trailers that go down there when they had the flood down there, and then he helped in Bertie County recently. Actually, that was a Night Away guy. I never met him yet, but I met him on the phone. But he helped us a Night Away out in Elizabeth City. But just how God brings us together. He couldn't have said it better when you and your wife pray. We don't know what we just gotta follow God, man, and just to knowing that at the refuge and what the things they do there, that's experience of his own. You feel like it's experience. And here, Sam, you gave the story and how it started, and I truly believe, and I know you along with me on this. It's about having faith. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. You can look back and then you see how God put it all together, but in the middle of it, you have no clue, and you have to step out in the unknown. Just thinking back towards the my end time there at the refuge, I remember Sammy sharing about putting lights out at the refuge for Christmas. I mean, because we had lost all our programming like that, schools, retreats, everything. The pandemic shut it down, and so next thing you know, we're stringing up lights, all around the camp. And I'm not sure. I have to be honest with you. In my opinion, I thought, I don't know if this is what's this going to do? Is this really going to work? And then we watched. Like all the way down Lowerfield Road, cars all night long coming through, looking at this light show. I mean, it raised pretty much the deficit of what the refuge lost in revenue, and now it's become an annual thing. They're going to have another one this year. And just to look at how God, again, He just moves in ways, where, like you might say, He's putting that nugget out there that you just take one little step, and then He just, I don't know, I guess we get surprised. We shouldn't be, but we're just surprised at how good and how wise He is of just moving us where we need to be. But yeah, I mean, that's the, I think that's what it comes down to. It, is can we just trust enough to take that step?
Yeah, and you said something that's true. We don't really know what God is doing. Like somebody, just not too long ago, a guy was talking about me at a meeting, and I forgot this even took place. We did do that. It's like you don't think about it, but you're like, wow, yeah, that did happen. And you get shocked. But just to seeing how God puts so many things in place for us to continue moving forward. Yesterday we had the Blessing and Bass. We canceled it the year before. And I had to tell you, we normally, the whole thing, you go inside the building and you have all the badges and you pray on it and, you do like an hour service. And I tell you, yesterday, God held the rain to the very end. It stopped raining at the very end with the last two vehicles. And I'm going to tell you, one of the pastors, he said, man, this is awesome. I had people, this is what we need to do. And it just changed. I said, well, and you're right. It makes us change, but it makes us do things more that God gets the glory. So, but as we come into a close, Jarvis Church is having this yard
lawn party.
Yawn party. It's a party, ladies and gentlemen.
Lawn party.
And it's gonna be and the address is towards Washington, but it's right by the police facility. You'll see at the same time they do the umbrella event they have there. We asking y'all to come out. There's gonna be free hot dogs out there. There's some bouncers for the kids. There's some resources out there just for you. Information you need to have. And I tell you, I know it's going to be a beautiful day. We just thank God because the Spirit's all over that. And we just thank God for Jarvis Church. And they always been a strong supporter, even with John Strivey was there. And you got a new pastors there. You got my friend, longtime friend, Pastor Rhonda. She's a rock and roll, y'all. But I just thank God. But as we come to a closing, he's going to give us an address to the facility. Lenny, one more time. Let me give us the address to the facility. And is there any contact numbers we can call?
Yep. So the address is 510 South Washington Street. And if you can call the church, you can call at 252-752-3101. Or you can even email me. That's Lenny, Lennie, at jarvis.church. And we'll be glad to answer any questions. We hope to see you. Just come on out, bring your family and friends, bring a chair, and enjoy the day.
Again, this Saturday, September 26th, come on out. Get out of the house. Hey, come on, have some time because it's about to have a party. Here's some music. And if you want to do the lecture slide, they may put it off for you. So come on out September 26th, 4 o'clock. Is it 4 o'clock or 4:30?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, 4 to 6. So you already went to your worship service. Come on out, have a good time. Listen, God bless, and we see you at our next broadcast.